But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
Let's go.
Get up on y'all. You gonna learn today.
Daddy, chill.
Call me Daddy.
Let's go. Every time I wake up and I have a deep voice, I always do the Emperor. Lord Vader. Rise. We have a lot to cover. It was a very chaotic national. If you weren't there, it's so hard to describe and try to put it in, like paint the picture for everybody. It's so big. And 2 years ago, which I thought was massive, this year, there was like 3 more rooms. It was insane. It was hard to navigate. You almost had to they need a map. They need a map on every room and put a dot. You are here with like a trail. Because when you walk in, you can't even get your bearings down. There's the Breakers Pavilion. There's Upper Deck and Fanatics on one side with Panini. And the Panini line is wrapping around because everyone's going to get their Panini black boxes, which we'll talk about that shortly. But it's just chaos everywhere. But it's controlled in a sense. I told somebody there, I said, if you came here with a plan or a schedule, you didn't meet that at all. You're not filling any plan or schedule because as soon as you get there, you might be pulled from this or, hey, I want to get a picture or an interview with this person or there's a card I want to go see. I remember mentally it's just a fog. You just fogged out. And then you wake up Sunday morning and the show's over. And sometimes you're just, I don't know, the drive there, we had to drive 14 and a half hours there. It was 14 and a half hours back. We were running around. We were staying up till 2 a.m. It's a lot. I'm still recovering sleep-wise. My sleep schedule's all off. But I want to do some takeaways from the show. Some things that we saw, some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like. This year was it was a big eye-opener for me. I was watching everybody, what people were doing, what these booths were doing, how they were doing some things, who's entered the hobby since last year. There's people that are walking around. I've never even seen some of these people. And they're walking around with a whole fucking crew of people recording and doing all these interviews. Like, I've never even heard of these people, but good for them. I think there's that fake it till you make it type people that have come in the space recently, especially recently. Yeah, it's a very intriguing thing to watch. If you just sit in the corner and just watch everything happening, especially in the Breakers Pavilion, because everybody's breaking. Everybody's on the stage. Whatnot had a massive presence. I think Whatnot was like, oh, Fanatics Live, that's cool. Let me put my hammer on the table. We're gonna make this thing huge, which is cool. You know what? Competition is great. Competition is good for the space. We don't want a monopoly. We don't want just one person controlling everything. But I think it's good for the hobby. I got to meet Michael Rubin, which was sick. I was so stoked. It was like the one time I don't get nervous for anything. Anything. Outside of like maybe pleasuring my wife. But I don't really get nervous. And I was like standing there. I'm like, Should I go in? What should I do? And my buddy was like, just fucking go, man. Stop being like a baby. Just go. I was like, yeah. I rushed in. Cool, dude. Anybody who talks shit on that guy, you have no idea what that guy's capable of. And the first thing, it wasn't like, who are you? It wasn't like, how's things going? How's business? It was like, he lit up. He was like, hey, did you see the redemptions? Like we're fucking gone, that redemption stuff. Percentages are lower for redemptions in the product. And I'm like, and immediately I'm like, oh, this guy gets it. This guy knows. He's not just a face. He's not just I'm going to shake this hand. He knows. He gets what's in the product. And I think he overall gets the hobby. Let's talk about some things that I didn't really like seeing at the National. First thing, the silver packs, the Panini and the tops. I don't know how to approach this one. The Panini packs, I think, are dog shit. I think they're really bad. I saw someone open like 50 of them, and they were excited over some Wemby silver to 25. That card, sell those cards right away. If you guys get those packs, sell those cards. The Bowman or the baseball ones, the top ones, they're a little better, but they're not liquid. If you get those packs and you rip those packs, sell those cards immediately. I had a buddy last year buy the Wander Franco True Red out of 5 auto. It got a PSA 1010. I couldn't even move that card. Every booth I would go to, the guy would go, no, National, nah, National pack. Yeah, get that out of my face. Get that out of my face. So those are the kind of cards that you want to hit those big cards and sell them right away. Sell. Just like the Panini black boxes, which I think it's a scam, what Panini does. Oh, it's a 101 Steph Curry, timeless moments, auto. Like, it's not really a 101. It's like a rejected card that they put a fucking sticker on, and then they stamp the card, and they put it in a box, and they say, give me all those redemptions, those 50 redemptions that you had waiting. Where are those cards? Does Panini have an outlet? Are they backdooring those cards? Seriously. Are they having a guy come in with the fucking truck and they say, hey, hand us all the redemptions. The Nationals in 2 weeks. Ha ha. Fucking got them. They'll be on eBay. Where are those cards at? Nobody asks those questions, but the people there are just fucking sheep walking around. Oh, look at me. I got this 1 of 1. And then people are comparing it. Oh, well, the true NTRPA to 25 did fucking $6,000. This is a 1 of 1. No, that card is not a 1 of 1. It's not. I'm sorry, but that's another product. You get those cards, you sell those things immediately. Go find the repack joy boys who are buying cards for the repacks and sell. Get as much money as possible as you can. Those cards will not hold value. Let those repack guys put them in, and let somebody on Whatnot or TikTok, and let somebody do a repack show and think that they got a 1 of 1 Steph Curry. Oh my God. That's got to be the case hit. It's not. I want to talk about the current breaker status. I've been watching a lot of breakers lately. Not on Instagram. I think Instagram's been kind of a tight ship. Whatnot is, Whatnot has their ways, and they have their guys. I get that. Whatnot knows that I'm very vocal about their app. I say what I want to say because there's not many people in this space that are willing to go to that length and just be honest and transparent. Everybody wants to put on the facade, the fake personality or persona. What you see here, how I talk, is how I talk in real life. It's how I talk to people. I'm not putting on a facade when I'm telling it like it is. I'm just saying how I feel, and I'm saying how the optics look when I see something. So when I see people on TikTok, the new breakers on TikTok are like the whores of the hobby. They are whoring themselves out. And I get it. You need to make money, but you don't have to break everything. You don't have to hype everything. Legacy football is a hot piece of fucking garbage. I've taken shits better than that product. So when you're pulling out cards that are like, oh, RPA to $299 and they're overhyping people, you're just, once again, you're doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice to your customers because they're going to go home and they're going to think they just hit this big card because it's an RPA and it's the first time that this guy's in a jersey. First time in a Colts jersey. Here's my RPA. And the card stinks. It doesn't sell. It won't sell. So you don't have to break every product. And I know the counteract to that is, well, what about our allocation? And, we have to order a certain amount of these boxes or a certain amount of these cases. And that's fine. You know what you should do? You should go and you want to help the hobby? Go on live and go, listen, guys, we're forced to buy this. We're forced to buy it. If you want to buy them, just cover our shipping. Cover our shipping so we can keep our allocation, we can keep things moving, we can keep our business thriving, and then we'll make our money on the other shit. Because that NT shit, when they get that allocated case, they are making thousands. And sometimes they're not even breaking it. Sometimes they're just moving it right away. They're just flipping it to a breaker, making 7, 8K off of one case. That 7, 8K is keeping their lights on for months. So I think the transparency is like, hey, we have to buy this stuff, guys. I know it's not the best product. You can hit some cool cards, but we're going just going to pay for the shipping, pay for the fees, whatever it might be, and here you go. Give you something, throw you guys a bone. The other thing, I'm going to keep kind of like going back to the national with the fake it till you make it type people. Every deal that goes down doesn't have to be recorded. Every purchase or trade, I feel like everybody's just like, we got to get this on camera. Yeah, we got to do, and a lot of the times it's probably not even what actually goes down. It's probably a pumped deal to help the content. Like, hey, throw this card in and we're going to throw an extra 10K on the table and we're going to call it a 50K deal. I don't think everything has to be recorded. We did a deal in in the basement of the Airbnb. It's like a $38,000 deal. Now, why didn't we record it and make content of it? You know why? Because it was a 5-hour negotiation back and forth between my current buyer, Baby Daddy Ribs, and a couple of other guys. And we sat there. I was in and out talking and doing stuff, but they sat there and they comped every card. What's your comp? What's our comp? Where we agree on? What's a number? Find the middle, split it, put it over here. Good, stack. We all agree on that. 5 hours. 5 hours of sitting in a basement in Chicago in the middle of the fucking heat. Swamp ass. That's the kind of stuff that, listen, if we wanted to record it, we could have recorded it. We could have set up cameras and done like a time lapse. It would have been cool. And it's stuff that people don't really see. Like, I just felt like it would have been boring. I'm like, hey guys, we did this deal. It took a long time. Like, here's how it went down, and like show us like a time lapse of stacking the cards and showing what the money is and whatever. But those are the things that people don't see that should be talked about more. That's the stuff that's really fun. I know it was 5 hours. It was a long time. Our backs were hurting. But going through and it was fun. It was fun because you're like, hey, I think it's $300 card. Well, I think it's $270. All right, let's call it $285. $285? Cool. Boom. Put it off the side. Let's go. Move on. I want to go back to those silver packs real quick because I had something that just came back in my head. I think there's some people that took a lot of heat for selling those baseball packs, and they know who they are. I don't have to say their name. There's several of them. They were putting them on Whatnot, and they were getting $150, upwards of $200 a pack in the very beginning. Now, they went down. I think people started realizing, hey, they get these packs technically they're free. In a sense, okay? Technically. How you get those packs at the National is you take a case or take a box of Topps. You go to the Topps booth. They slice the box open. They take the wrapper, and then they hand you the pack. So you're not opening the actual box. Like, you're not opening the packs inside. You're just having the box split open. They take the wrapper. They give you a pack, okay? Now, counter argument is, oh, well, we're stuck with all this product. Why can't we take these 30 cases of Heritage, have them open every box, and then we'll sell off the packs, whatever, and then we get the silver packs, and then we can sell the silver packs and make money off those cases that we're forced to buy. That's great. But what people were doing is they were going over to Blowout, buying those cheap-ass Topps boxes for $35, going over to buying cases and then going over and getting silver packs, selling them for $100, selling $150. I have an idea how you fix that. I don't know if they'll ever get to it, but I have an idea. Okay? I think if Fanatics goes, all right, you know what, this year, if you want the silver packs, you have to break live at the National. We want to see everything get cracked open. As you're cracking open, we'll give you the packs, okay? Now, you cannot make money on these packs. You're going to break at National, and these packs are going into the breaks. That way, people can have access to these packs. They don't have to pay for them, and they can have a chance to hit some really cool cards for free. For free. So you're still having to crack those cases anyways. So as you're cracking and opening, and maybe Fanatics should have a Breakers pavilion, like Whatnot. Like Whatnot took over the whole Breakers pavilion. If that was like a Fanatics side where they come by and they go, well, what are you breaking? Okay, oh, you have 4. You're going to break these 4 cases right now? Okay, here you go. Here are the packs. These packs are going in the break. It helps the hobby out because now people are going, all right, the break's the same price. Now I have a chance to hit one of those cards, which technically is hard to move anyways. And if you get a card like that early, you can move it and you can sell it. And it's good for everybody. But now you have people who took advantage of that in a way, and now they're getting heat for it. And it's justified heat. And they want to argue about it instead of just going, hey, what's good for the hobby? What's good for everybody? What can lift everybody up? The packs are free. The packs are free. If you don't want to be stuck with that shit product, then move it at cost. Just because you're sitting on it for fucking 7 months waiting for the National so you can get those packs and then turn around and make a ton of money off the packs, that's okay. But if Fanatics came in and said, you cannot sell these, we're going to take the wrappers, but you're going to break them, you're going to do the live breaks on Fanatics Live, and the packs go in the breaks. Dude, it's a win-win for everybody. You're still making your money on the cases. I don't see the problem there. I don't know. I'm heated now. Now I'm going to go into something. I might do this every week. Well, I'm doing the podcast every week. Before I get into this, I'm going to do my own promotion. I don't have a sponsor yet, but fuck them. Bowman shirts, get them. They're awesome. The back says the Bowman King. They're nice. They're form-fitting. Kelsey says, makes my arms look decent. She said big, but I think they look decent. Last week we didn't have a podcast. I'm sorry about that. The National was busy. We did have a live podcast, a live broadcast from the National with Ben from Bullpen. So much fun. Ben is such a gentle giant. He caressed me in every way you can think of. But go on YouTube. Go watch the video. I cannot express this enough. Go to my YouTube page, Daddy Rips. It's just one word. There's no spaces. There's no numbers. Daddy Rips. Go to the videos. Watch that video from the National. It was an experience. It was a, we had technical difficulties in the beginning, but we fixed it. Next year will be better. We will be doing this every year. I've already talked to Ben. I'm going to have a booth next year. DR will have a booth at the National. I'm going to have a really sick setup because I want to do that daily. I want as much content out of that as possible because the stuff that we got on video was gold. We got the rawest form of people at the show because we were live. So when they sit down, they're like, oh, we're live? Yeah, we are live. So we had people in the chat going and talking and interacting. The best thing from that video, and like I said, please go see it. Go watch it. We sat down, two really good takeaways. One, we had these kids come in, which was really cool. Their parents were like, can they come in? And I was like, yeah, for sure. As long as you give us the okay that we can interview them. And these two kids, their first time show, they weren't even nervous to be on the podcast. They were talking. They were telling who they collect. That was really cool because that just reminded me of me when I was going to shows with my dad as a kid, opening packs and trading and talking and walking around. Second big takeaway is we interviewed Chad from C-Bless from Bless, Chad. It got deep. It really got deep. And he talked about some very important things that nobody likes to talk about because it's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about your mental health and depression and maybe gambling addictions, all those things that everybody struggles with, and he opened up. And it's important to watch because he might be one of the most misunderstood people in the hobby based on his posts and his reels and his betting, and he takes a lot of heat. He gets a lot of trolls. But he opened up and he was talking about how he deals with days where he doesn't want to leave his room and he doesn't want to go do things, and he has struggles with depression. And seeing that in the raw form, you could see his emotion really come out. And that needs to be talked about more because it's not just all about cards. We're all human beings just trying to make it in life and trying to, build a family or build a brand or whatever it might be. And a lot of people don't understand that everybody is going through something. So back to my, promoting myself. Go watch the video, please. I know we missed last week's podcast, but that was technically last week's podcast. It's on YouTube. I didn't get it on Spotify or Apple Podcast because the video was hard. It was the internet was bad. Last thing about the National. The last thing I'll talk about. There's other things I want to talk about, but I'll save them for other episodes too. The last thing I want to talk about. Whoever put the National on, whoever was like in charge of the money, the AC, the last thing. Okay, I can deal with no internet because that's like, okay, now we're talking like real deals are going down. Like what's your, if you can't find a comp, you got to find a real deal. But to not have AC in there with everyone jam-packed like sardines, everybody was sweating. Everybody was sweating. It was hot. And then Friday we walked in, we're like, oh, maybe the AC's on. And then like 2 o'clock rolls around and it's hot again. Like that needs a change. There's a lot of things that I think as a community, if we talk about what we want to see done at the National, hopefully they listen. I think the space, the internet, the accessibility, those things can be talked about and should be fixed. That's the last thing I want to talk about the National. The last thing I want to talk about, which I might do this now once a week, I'm going to call this the scumbag of the week. It's a new edition. I had and I hope this gets attention. Please bring attention to this. Because I cannot, but when this guy was telling me the story, my jaw was on the floor. I had a close supporter and friend of the channel who spends money with us and spends time on the live in the chat. Recently, within the last few months, he started breaking for an LCS. I won't name the LCS. I won't name the person. No names. I can't confirm or deny this. I know his side of the story. And if his side of the story holds up, it's bad for the LCS. This guy has been breaking for him for this LCS. He told me he's never been paid. He told me that he's probably done over 250 hours on a live, breaking every week. No money. Says sometimes he walks away with the mega box. He said, yeah, he took me to National. I didn't have to pay for anything. No money? Just making this shop thousands and thousands of dollars? And he would send me text messages of the stuff. He would go through like 4 cases in a night, more than us. I know if I ran 4 cases of a certain product, I know what I'm going to make that night. The fact that this guy wasn't getting paid, and like I said, I cannot confirm or deny. I know his side of the story. And I'll tell you what, this guy is a good kid. And I say kid because he's a lot younger than me. He's a friend. He's trying to be a teacher. And this guy's being taken advantage of. And he's great personality. I told him today, I said, listen, being a teacher, that's a saint move. I wanted to be a teacher too. That was my passion. But then I get into this. I'm like, this is my lane. I told him, I said, dude, you're good at what you're doing. You should go in and do your own thing. Start your own company. But not getting paid. And then like, oh, here's a mega. And if that ever got around back to Panini and Topps and all these companies, that we have an LCS out there who is taking advantage of a kid breaking for them, making them money and not paying them? Like, are you kidding me? I don't know. Listen, like I said, I don't want to go, I don't want to say too much. I talked to the guy before this. I said, can I please talk about this? Because this is the stuff that gets buried. And then this guy's going to go on his way and go be a teacher and not get paid. I did the math. Even at $25 an hour, the guy's owed $6,200. That's a lot of money for a guy who's trying to be a fucking teacher. I'm dumbfounded. I'm almost speechless. I don't even know to put it in words. When I was breaking for Rizzo, that guy was paying me $100 a night and wax. And I was fucking jazzed. And you know what this guy texted me last night? He's like, I said, what are you doing? Why? Because I love the hobby, man. I love sports cards. I enjoy entertaining people and opening cards. My goal is to find somebody to take this kid on. I wish if I had the money, I would fly this guy out. I would tell him to find an apartment, and I would tell him to join the DR team. Because someone like that, you cannot find anymore. You cannot find somebody with passion who just loves it. And it's not even about the money for him. He keeps saying, he's like, it's not really about the money. I just love doing it. But at some point, you got to get paid for the fucking work you're putting in, especially if you're breaking cases. Even at $25 an hour, that's a lot. He should be paid. I don't even know what to say about it. It frustrates me because it just goes in line with what I've been saying for so long, is you can't trust anybody in this hobby because every single person, not every single person, but you know, I'm going to say that line. Every single person is trying to benefit themselves. They're trying to take advantage of other people and prop themselves up over other people. And it's bullshit. And it should be, this should get so much attention. This should get, I don't even give a fuck about my podcast, the attention it brings to me. This should get attention on him. And somebody should reach out to me and be like, who is this guy? I'm bringing him on the team. I want to make him a breaker. This guy is a dog when I say that. Fucking pisses me off, man. Cuz I want to help this guy so much, and I get emotional over this because I see people when I'm so passionate about just helping people, and I want people to succeed, especially like people on my team. You know, Jason, Brooks, and Sleevey. I want people to whatever you want. Like, how can we help? How can I help you? Like, maybe not be able to give you money, but how can I help you? I want to just help people. So it pisses me off that people take advantage of good people. Good people. And it's a running theme in the hobby. It's always like, oh, who got burned? Oh, this person. Oh, fucking, of course. It's a guy with a good heart and wants to do good, and a fucking piece of shit over here scammed him. And then he's gone. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I don't know what else to say. But I hope this gets out. Because I'm going to blast this out. I'm going to blast that out to everybody I know. I hope this gets done. I appreciate everyone listening and following. And listen, just be a good person. That's all I have to say. If you can't be a good person, then get the fuck out of the hobby. We don't want you. And you know what? It's time we start running those people out. Plain and simple. I'm out.